Welcome, everybody.
This right here was actually in the square.
Live.
The last one was.
Do I have an echo? Or is that you guys? Oh, with my main man, Jonathan Arrington, streaming live with one of his kids, peeking over. Habemus Papam.
That's right. Habemus
Let's go live and get some people to come on. It's a joyous time, I guess. Right?
Very joyous. Yeah, my wife and I were talking how we were there the last round. So good to be looking at it from afar this time.
I'll turn down the Vatican the link I'm using right now. You can hear it in the background. So when they come out live with the name, I'll crank the volume back up. But I was standing there just watching the screen for a while, going, you know what? Why not? Let me see if I can get some buds on, and we'll talk. Was it 2013 last time? It was right when the channel was starting. It was when Francis got elected. I remember being in the room. I remember standing there. I had Protestants calling me up. Who is this Francis guy? I have no clue. To be honest, I couldn't do this on my own because I don't have a clue who many of these cardinals are. So, outside of like five, if some of if there's the names like Isabella, Sarah, Burke, we got some openings up now.
Oh boy, here we go. That's my kids in the background, by the way.
I guess a good time to go live. I had no clue it was going to come this quick.
Yeah, good idea.
Annuncio vobis gaudium magnum. Habemus papam. Eminentissimum, ac reverendissimum Dominum, Dominum Robertum Franciscum, Sancte Romane Ecclesiae, Cardinalem Prevost, qui sibi nomen imposuit Leonem XIV.
Leo the 14th. Whoa!
Oh my! Everyone on the stratosphere is going nuts now.
Hey, I might have a job doing Latin for the Vatican again with Leo the 14th.
Well, he didn't make it, so we're good. We're clear on soupage.
No.
Prevost.
He's not American. Wait, what?
And good thing is he went to the Ange.
What's he actually?
Oh my! I actually know him. He was at the Augustinian OSA.
He's American.
He's the one that used to come to the Augustiniano. I know him.
He's American now?
Yes.
We have an American Pope?
You know the Pope? You're like DFS or texting with him?
I have encountered him several times. He would come by to visit the school where I went when we lived in Rome. Yeah. So I actually know him. Mamma mia.
You're the entire Arrington family here.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually knows Father.
I'm hearing a Prevost from Secular News. Does that sound right, John?
Say it one more time.
I hear Prevost from Secular News. Is that right? Robert Prevost. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah. I encountered him a few times. He would come to visit. He's an Augustinian. He came to visit the school. I went to the Augustinianum, and he came to visit the school a few times with a few other Augustinians from the Chicago area. But so I mean, he'd never remember me, but I shook his hand a few times. Oh, there I see Ranjit.
Well, I was not expecting the Cubs or White Sox for today.
Yeah, me either.
What did you think of him when you met him?
I mean, he didn't say much. He was like any other bishop, very, very, closed mouth.
He comes up on the streets and punches me in the face. I want to know who he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's good with languages, so at least he won't be introducing English as the official language of the Vatican, I don't think.
So we're looking at at least an upgrade, I guess. I mean, it's a low bar for an upgrade.
Hard to say. I mean, I only met him a few times. I don't know really much anything about him, to be honest. But he was kind enough whenever we got to kiss his ring there.
Yeah, Chicago is not on my bingo list.
Yeah, that's an interesting connection with kind of, let's say, past U.S. presidents and very powerful U.S. cardinals.
I was hoping you wouldn't go there with Barack and.
Well, and then kind of the most powerful of the American cardinals have passed through there.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I have to get back to Romero. He sent me a text with Mahoney the other day and went, did you just jinx this whole thing? Not that he was Chicago, but it's the same way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting, kind of center of the U.S. of all places. Not either coast. I mean, not to say that Chicago's any better off than L.A. or New York, but it's just interesting.
Yeah, they just got rid of 100 parishes 3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, The good thing is that it's a place where at least there's kind of all kinds of good liturgical stuff has flourished. But so he would have seen it all.
And then for him to choose Leo the 14th, I mean,
that is super surprising because I mean Leo the 13th was not just the last truly great proponent of Latin in the Catholic Church's history, but was also a hammer against the modernist, and was into biblical studies. And I mean, the only thing I can think of that would make the most sense, though, is that he was also the founder of the kind of the Catholic social thought, with Rerum Novarum.
Yeah.
So he's the one that wrote the first encyclical that everybody else kind of copied thereafter. Pius the 11th. Well, even Benedict the 15th and St. Pius X wrote kind of encyclicals 10, 20, 30, 40 years after that, but famously Quadragesimo Anno, by Pius the 11th. But Leo the 13th is the founder of it.
If anybody doesn't know who Jonathan is, he's not some guy just pulled off the street. I mean, he was on the street and I texted him up, but he used to work in Rome and wrote for L'Oratorio Romano, and he knows these things inside and out. So if you want anybody that's up there in the knowledge of what's going on at where you're looking at, here's one of the guys you can talk to.
Well, at least I know enough to say I don't know much about this guy. So I won't pretend to know everything coming right off the bat. That's for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't going to put you up as the provost expert. But just the whole Leo XIV thing going, every trad in the world for the last, 5-10 years been talking about we need a Burke to come out and be a Leo XIV.
Oh, I've got books that mentioned it from Tradland that mentioned this back in the late '90s, even. I mean, this is before John Paul II had died, but just kind of the spirit that he had for biblical studies, and then the Latin, and his supposed name amongst the name of the popes too, that light from the heavens. There were books that Tan put out back in the day about that.
Yeah. Everyone's a lot of people in the chat are going devastating news, all stuff like that. So I mean, we'll get more info when it comes out. I mean, again, when Francis came out, you could put a gun in my head. I couldn't tell you 3 things. I didn't even know who the guy was when it came out. Not saying that this, I mean, lightning strikes twice, but I don't go in. I don't pretend to go in and study all this. We'll find out if he's dressed well.
Yeah. Now I'll admit he was always dressed well going into the Augustine. Oh, that's
comes out looking like Benedict.
Yep.
That's a good change.
Yeah.
You don't know if that little girl's excited or bit her tongue.
I say one thing that's good about him is that he used to come to the Augustinianum there quite frequently, and that's literally next door to St. Peter's.
Yeah.
He's staring out to his right, to his immediate right is where he came and stayed whenever he came to the city. So, at least he knows the city well, that there won't be quite as much a lull in getting to know things as Francis had to go through.
Yeah. Well, they didn't like South America didn't do well, so we're trying North America.
Good point. Yeah. I do remember too that he speaks very good Spanish. He spoke Spanish most of the times when he came to the Augustinianum, which was
really?
Maybe that's because there were more Spanish speakers there than any other thing, and it's kind of a period where there was a lot of Hispanic focus there, and one of the rectors was from Spain as well. But so yeah,
I guess I could see that. It looks kind of like that little Hispanic detail in him.
Yeah, even though his name is kind of French, Prévost.
So you would know that. I would.
I don't know what that means about me, but
Yeah.
I guess I'm probably studying the wrong things.
Yeah, if anybody don't know that joke, Jonathan used to teach Latin to French guys. He's from South Carolina, so just think about that.
Good thing they didn't have me teaching them English, so that's all I know.
And more French people speaking y'all.
That's right. Vous tous.
It looks good so far.
Yeah, happy to see him wearing the regalia that Benedict came out in as well.
La pace sia con tutti voi. Fratelli, sorelle carissimi, questo è il primo saluto del Cristo risorto, il buon pastore che ha dato la vita per il gregge di Dio. Anch'io vorrei che questo saluto di pace entrasse nel vostro cuore, raggiungesse le vostre famiglie, a tutte le persone, ovunque siano, a tutti i popoli, a tutta la terra. La pace sia con voi. Questa è la pace di Cristo risorto, una pace disarmata e una pace disarmante, umile e perseverante. Proviene da Dio, Dio che ci ama a tutti incondizionalmente. Ancora conserviamo nei nostri orecchi quella voce debole ma sempre coraggiosa di Papa Francesco che benediva Roma. Il Papa che benediva Roma dava la sua benedizione al mondo intero, quella mattina del giorno di Pasqua. Consentitemi di dar seguito a quella stessa benedizione. Dio ci vuole bene, Dio vi ama a tutti e il male non prevarrà. Siamo tutti nelle mani di Dio. Pertanto, senza paura, uniti, mano nella mano con Dio e tra di noi, andiamo avanti. Siamo discepoli di Cristo. Cristo ci precede. Il mondo ha bisogno della sua luce. L'umanità necessita di Lui come il ponte per essere raggiunta da Dio e dal suo amore. Aiutateci anche voi, poi gli uni gli altri, a costruire i ponti con il dialogo, con l'incontro, unendoci tutti per essere un solo popolo, sempre in pace. Grazie a Papa Francesco. Voglio ringraziare anche tutti i confratelli cardinali che hanno scelto me per essere successore di Pietro e camminare insieme a voi come Chiesa unita, cercando sempre la pace, la giustizia, cercando sempre lavorare come uomini e donne fedeli a Gesù Cristo, senza paura, per proclamare il Vangelo, per essere missionari. Sono un figlio di Sant'Agostino, agostiniano, che ha detto: con voi sono cristiano e per voi vescovo. In questo senso possiamo tutti camminare insieme verso quella patria la quale Dio ci ha preparato. Alla Chiesa di Roma un saluto speciale. Dobbiamo cercare insieme come essere una Chiesa missionaria, una chiesa che costruisce i ponti, il dialogo, sempre aperta a ricevere, come questa piazza con le braccia aperte, a tutti coloro che hanno bisogno della nostra carità, la nostra presenza, il dialogo, l'amore. Y si me permiten también una palabra, un saludo a todos aquellos, y en modo particular a mi querida diócesis de Chiclayo en el Perú. Donde un pueblo fiel ha acompañado a su obispo, ha compartido su fe y ha dado tanto para seguir siendo iglesia fiel de Jesucristo. A tutti voi, fratelli e sorelle di Roma, d'Italia, di tutto il mondo, vogliamo essere una chiesa sinodale, una chiesa che cammina, una chiesa che cerca sempre la pace, cerca sempre la carità, cerca sempre di essere vicino specialmente a coloro che soffrono. Oggi, il giorno della supplica alla Madonna di Pompei. Nostra Madre Maria vuole sempre camminare con noi, stare vicino, aiutarci con la sua intercessione e il suo amore. Allora vorrei pregare insieme a voi. Preghiamo insieme per questa nuova missione, però per tutta la Chiesa, per la pace nel mondo. E chiediamo questa grazia speciale di Maria, nostra Madre. Ave Maria, piena di grazia, il Signore è con te. Tu sei benedetta fra le donne e benedetto è il frutto del tuo seno, Gesù. Santa Maria, Madre di Dio, prega per noi peccatori, adesso e nell'ora della nostra morte. Amen.
Il Santo Padre Leone, a tutti i fedeli presenti e a quelli che ricevono la sua benedizione a mezzo della radio, della televisione e delle altre tecnologie di comunicazione, concede l'indulgenza plenaria nella forma stabilita dalla Chiesa. Preghiamo Dio Onnipotente perché conservi a lungo il Papa a guida della Chiesa e conceda pace e unità alla Chiesa in tutto il mondo.
Sancti Apostoli Petrus et Paulus, de quorum potestate et auctoritate confidimus, ipsi intercedat pro nobis ad Dominum. Amen. Precibus et meritis Beate Mariae semper Virginis, Beati Michaelis Arcangeli, Beati Ioannis Baptiste, et Sanctorum Apostolorum Petri et Pauli et omnium sanctorum, misereatur vestri omnipotens Deus, et dimissis omnibus peccatis vestris, perducat vos Iesus Christus ad vitam aeternam. Indulgentiam, absolutionem et remissionem omnium peccatorum vestrorum, spatium vere et fructuose penitentiae, cor semper penitens, et emendationem vitae, gratiam et consolationem Sancti Spiritus, et finalem perseverantiam in bonis operibus tribuat vobis omnipotens et misericors Dominus. Amen. Et benedictio Dei omnipotentis, Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti descendat super vos et maniat semper.
We're playing Happy Days are back again, or what, John?
That was at least pretty good Latin for a blessing.
Would he have brought the ICK into Chicago?
Yeah, so I went there to visit once when Monsignor Schmitz was still there, but that was 2002 or 3 or 4, somewhere in there. Like, it was a long time ago, 2004 maybe.
Yeah, no, we don't have any crystal balls here, but at least it's starting out better.
Yeah, at least he pronounced a very clear and very Latin blessing there at the end. I'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple people to chatter, ready to jump ship or call it, throw in the towel. It's only been an hour. Let's have a papacy longer than a day before you decide to well, it's over with or the church is over.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I mean, a couple people were like liberal. Well, tell me if I'm wrong or not. Didn't they say Pius IX was going to be alive? And not saying he's going to be the next coming of Pius IX or Leo XIII, but I mean, a lot of people start out with this preconceived idea and they turn out to be something else, right?
Yeah, and I mean, hey, he chose a name that hasn't been chosen in over 120 some odd years, so I'll wait and see how he wants to fill in that leonine role. I mean,
I was just thinking when he was saying the prayers, going, you guys were jacked. I heard your wife in the background. You go, oh, we know him. I was waiting for you guys to say, yeah, we cooked lasagna for him or something.
Not quite that intimate, but yeah, no, it's at least a few meetings is better than nothing. So
yeah, also at least it's not. Be happy it's not Turkson or.
Oh yeah, or some of the others that were standing out in the loggia there. No,
I saw what's his face, the Franciscan from Boston. I went, woo! You can stick him off the board. He ain't it.
Yeah.
I wonder if they like that when they're walking down and people start applauding and they're like, oh, they love me. And in the back of the mind, the people are like, man, thank God he's not up there.
Yeah, exactly.
We're so happy to see you down here with us.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wonder where it was like, now what do we do?
Yeah, my wife and I, the last time when we were there, when Francis was elected, we were out in the loggia, out in the piazza, and then we were just ready to hurry home and get some dinner in. It was late night then. But.
So you've been in that crowd.
Yeah, in fact, we were right beside the obelisk last time, right beside John Rao and Michael Matt and Chris Ferrara. They were all there. So we were all right there, kind of huddled in a little American crowd. I had walked there with a buddy of mine who just died this year, who was the sacristan at Trinità, the fraternity parish there. We sprinted. We heard the bells, and I was serving Mass, actually. And so as soon as I got the casket and surplice off, we sprinted down the Tiber, little road beside the Tiber to get there.
I imagine the excitement levels through the roof.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, hopefully he can bring back the kind of wayward Hispanic churches because there's a lot of maybe ancient piety there, but it's from what I've heard from friends all throughout Central and Latin America, if we don't get them in the next 5 to 10 years, it's over because it's, at least from a human standpoint, because the administration of those dioceses has been so poor basically ever since the 60s that it's really kind of now or never. So hopefully he can bring in something really good there.
That makes sense. You got the follow-away Catholic idea from the Hispanic crowd. It's got to be out the charts.
Yeah.
You throw in the States, you throw in the immigrant ideas. Well, most of them are Hispanic in background, and what's one way we can, why don't we just bring them back into the church instead of I'm not trying to get a political dice on that thing, but everyone's, hey, let's throw them out, throw them back to Honduras. Well, they are if they're Catholic, they're our brothers, we can help them out. Or if they fall away, that kind of helps us out, right?
Yeah, and especially because like a few of my Argentinian friends were saying the last time I was in Rome, they said, for instance, Argentinian Catholics, they've been through so much politically and in their church lives that like they've kind of seen where a true bad leftism or liberalism in the church leads. So, they're kind of disavowed of that notion now, which is good. That means they're not going to be quite on as much on that cheerleader train for the bad ideas of the 60s and 70s, like maybe some Americans would be otherwise, or Canadians, or
So probably won't be. I know where people were going. You probably won't see the TLM in St. Peter's this year, but maybe not the hardcore anti-movements. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, at least, I don't know about the diocese where he was and things like that, but I mean, let's put it this way: I know that when he was in a position of authority among the Augustinians, the Augustinians were doing okay. So, there's probably room for anybody to grow liturgically or spiritually otherwise. But I'd say there's some room for hope still. I hope.
We can leave it at that, I guess, because I have nothing else to bring to the thing, and I think I've exhausted all the questions I could come up for you on that, and everyone's leaving to go home to get a cannoli anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I mean, at least the good thing is we got a lot of sainted Leos to pray to ask intercession for a great pontificate. I mean, you got not just Leo the Great, but Saint Leo the Second, Saint Leo the Third. You get, there was an interesting Leo the Ninth. Leo the 11th was really interesting, and Leo the 13th, obviously. So
I guess that might be something. I mean, these guys, they're not just going to pick a name out of a hat. All right, I got Leo today. I mean, he actually thought about that, so it's not like he's going back and going, man, I really don't like to be anything related to these Leos, or I'm going to change the Leo name, but in the light of Leo.
Yeah, and not a mere continuation of, it's not a John Paul III or a Francis II. So there's something that's going to be distinct here. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what it's going to be.
Well, John, appreciate your insight and willingness to come on. And of all the people I thought about, you're like, man, if I get Jonathan on, I'll be set, because he knows the insides and outs of Rome and the Vatican way more than I would ever in my lifetime.
Well, it's glad to offer a little bit of what we lived through there. So yeah, my pleasure, Steve. Thanks for asking.
All right, everybody, calm down. Don't worry. Pray, hope, don't worry. The whole thing. It's hour 2 or hour 1. We're not even an hour. It's 34 minutes ago his name came out, so we're still in the first hour. Relax, chill out. If it gets bad in a year or two, okay, you can come after me with some tomatoes. But until then, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Don't, hey, be happy we got a new Papa. And I would have never guessed to have been a Chicago person. I always joke saying, if the Pope comes out and says the Cubs are going to win the World Series, we might actually have that happen now.
Yeah, that's right. Either the Cubs or the White Sox, I guess. Well, I don't know. Maybe not the White Sox, but
Well, yeah. I mean, if he comes out saying the White Sox are winning and they do win, that's a different story. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not Dolan.
Yep. So there were a lot of other Americans that it could have been, and would have been much more tears brought to my eyes.
Oh, shoot pitch! You might have seen me go, "We're dead." But yeah, no, it's thanks for your time, man, and everyone out there. Again, pray, hope, don't worry. It's not just a bumper sticker. Actually, do it, and strive for holiness, and maybe we'll get something good. Maybe this comes out pretty good. It's not going to be perfect. I mentioned in the chat. Someone said this was terrible. I go, you correct me wrong. The divine physician knows what's needed. We don't know who's going to be the worst. We don't know who would be the best. Even though I just said Chupich, I know that's hypocritical in a sense. I would have said Chupich, but he kind of knows what he's doing. God's still in control. Just be at ease. We could have been, as Rick Barrett, we could have gotten a lot worse. Jonathan has said that too. But Yeah, as long as it's not Dolan. Everyone give Anthony a little pound for picking Dolan, by the way.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Take care, and yeah, we'll talk soon, buddy.
Sounds good. God bless.
All right, everybody. Take care, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's just a spontaneous thing. I was watching the TV and said, "Wait, what not?" Jump in. I think Rick wants to come on, so let me send him an invite real quick. I was gonna leave and do actual work, but since Rick asked politely, and I don't know where he is in my chat, there he is. I'll get the man from Rick Cast to come on. I invited quite a few people, but I don't think anybody is coming on. I'll get back to doing other things here shortly. Oh, we're gonna do it tonight. Okay. If anybody doesn't know, we do News from the Pew on Thursday nights, so check that out. Rick and I will be on here and do other things throughout the day, throughout the world. Usually about 3 things. Remember the other show I was on? We do it. It's on its own channel, News from the Pew, YouTube. But anyway, God love you. Have a great rest of the day. Habemus, Papam, and yeah, say a couple Hail Marys for him.